Kylie Bertucci, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, here with our amazing tutorial bundle special secret video that's exclusive just to you. Congratulations on getting the bundle. And this month it's September, and we are going to have a lot of fun with the Playful Patterns suite, which is absolutely adorable, cute. I just absolutely love this bundle, and there's some really cool tips that I'm going to be sharing with you in terms of how you can utilize this suite. Now, this is the card that I'm going to be showing you today. Well, kind of another version of this, because I wanted to give you a tip on how you can make the most out of these fantastic letters that are part of this suite. Now, the really amazing thing with the Playful Alphabet, it's so adorable, but it pairs really well with the amazing new foam adhesive sheets. And I'm going to show you a few tips. So having a look at this, can you see how the dimension on those letters? And the cool thing is you can write whatever you want here. The world is now your oyster of sentiments. You can put whatever sentiment you want. And they're the perfect size for card makers, which I'm super, well, even if you're a scrapbooker, I think it's perfect for either, really. It's just a really great size. Now, if you haven't done our scrappy strips, this is actually a technique made by Bruno Bertucci, my husband. And you're going to love how simple this technique is. So we've got a few levels of different ideas that I'm hoping will inspire you not just to use this suite or these products, but also in terms of techniques as well. So let's jump on in and have some crafting fun together. Sound good? Let's do it. So I'll make sure I've got my correct screen for you. There we go. Now I'm keeping true to these colours because I really love these colours. In fact, I based the colour ideas on a paper pumpkin that we did not get here in Australia because we don't get paper pumpkin in Australia. But a beautiful demo from Montreal sent it. And so I kind of really loved these colour ideas, which is our brand new In Colours. The Magenta Madness, Just Jade, and the Bumblebee. I really thought that was just an excellent idea for colour ideas. And I do love getting my ideas from things that Stampin' Up! Have already created. So getting a colour idea from Designer Series paper. Yeah, even in the catalogue, they'll have samples in there. And I'm like, sure, I'll take those colours. Thank you. Thank you for making my life easier. So the first thing we're going to do, I've got the card base, which you will have all the measurements in the tutorial. So get your card base, and we're just going to fold that in half so you'll see the measurements on there. And then we're going to do some stamping on top of the base. So directly onto the base, just to make it nice and easy. Now on this one I've used those cute little polka dots. But in true Kylie style, let's just change it up a bit. We'll try one of the other stamps in the set. So this is the set here, Pattern Play. And I thought it'd be nice to try this one here, but you've got quite a few that you could use in the background. So even the hearts, yeah, even the mixture of those two hearts would be really pretty. These little stars, the stripes. So it's a really fantastic background creating stamp set, which is what I adore, and it gives you a lot of versatility as well. So let's just grab that background there. I wanted to use the stripes, but I thought they might sort of fight one another with the scrappy strips technique. We want the scrappy strips to still be the hero of the story. Now what block have I got here? Yes, that one looks good. Now I've just used the same colour. I've gone for Magenta Madness on Magenta Madness. If you want it to be a little bit more subtle, which I'll show you how to do here, so you can see that that's quite in your face, quite bright. But if you wanted that scrappy strips to stand out even more, what we'll do is we can do They call it a generation stamping. And no, it does not mean your stamps are having babies. They don't have a generation before them. It's like a lighter colour. So let's just try it. You stamp it off and then you stamp it on. And it just means this really subtle background stamp as opposed to that big, bold, bright look. So it's just totally up to you. It's just a different style. I like both. I think both are fun. But it just gives you a little bit more variety, especially with something, actually it's perfect with something like this because you may not be able to line it up properly, but it's not going to matter too much because it's not like it's like really in your face. You're not sort of noticing it as much. And I can leave a gap there. Sometimes I've done it where I'm going to keep it the same direction, so just make sure that you're stamping the same way. Yeah, and I'll just come up there. Just make sure you don't forget to stamp off. I have done that before. So yeah, remember that you've got your middle section, so we don't have to do the full middle part. But I thought, if you wanted to, you could go in lots of different directions, but I'm just keeping to the same direction. Did I stamp off? I'm not sure. So I'll just stamp again just in case. That's a good rule of thumb. If you're not sure, stamp and stamp off again. There we go. And there. Oh, I hope I've got enough room in the middle. I probably would have been better off doing this bit here. So what we can do, because I love to show you how to, make up little ideas. I love little mistakes like this because it gives me opportunity to show you different ideas. This is what we call making it up as you go. Winging it, we call it in Australia. Let's just wing it and just come up with some idea. But this is kind of like a technique that you can use to just mask off a certain area, just so that you're not going over the top. So now what I can do is just sort of go over the top here, and I'm not going over the top of the stamping, and then just stamp where I want it. And all you got to be careful of, like it's quite high, so just push down on that side there because you've got a little higher edge here. But it just means that you're not stamping, because I didn't really want it to go over the top there. I wouldn't like that look. But yeah, just masking it can give you an opportunity to go where you want to go without lining it up, and just keep it simple, I say. And I don't mind that little gap in there. I think that's fine. I would be more upset if it sort of overlapped too much. And then what we're going to do, I really like that background. Can you see it properly there? How pretty is that? Just, yeah, it's really nice. I'm going to enjoy using that one. Now I'll close this so we don't get ink everywhere. I am known to do that. And we're going to look at how to do our scrappy technique. So we've got these strips. Now the cool thing about this, which I did not realise until I saw Bruno do it, you can Google his video if you want to have a look, but he has a scrappy strips technique video. I like to personally use my little trimmer here. If you don't have one of those, that's fine. You can just use your regular Stampin' trimmer. But on this, I decided to do them a little bit finer, like quite thin. And all I've done is just use some of my scraps, but you just want to make sure that it's larger than this. So give yourself a little bit of room, and you've got the size of this piece on your tutorial, which is our piece here in the center. So you just want to make sure that the piece of cardstock, because you want to have a little bit extra to play with, and I'll show you why. It just makes it so much easier. I couldn't believe it when I watched Bruno. I was like, are you serious? Is it that easy? In my head, I overcomplicated it. Us women are known to do that. So I've just got a little tiny little piece here, and what I'm doing is just going crooked with it, which is actually my typical cutting, really. I find it harder to go straight than I do to go crooked. So I've probably got maybe about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 of each you could probably do. Because one thing I did notice is every time I've done this technique, I've ended up with way too many. I'm like, why did I cut that many strips? I didn't need that many. 3. And actually I'll do one for the inside as well, because I want to do one on the inside. So, and then we'll just do one for good measure. I'll do 6. And then I'll do the same. So that was the Magenta Madness. This is the Just Jade. I absolutely adore this colour. There we go. 6. And then our beautiful Bumblebee. Now this one's a little bit smaller because I just grabbed a scrap piece. But as long as it's bigger than the piece, then we're all good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just want one piece that is going to, because I'm going to use it on the inside as well. So that's not big enough. That's not big enough. That's okay. I'll find another way. I've got another scrap piece of Bumblebee there that I can use. I'll grab it now actually, so that I'm ready to go. So I wanted to use a piece on the inside as well. I like using I put all my scraps into a cellophane bag and then just put the name on there. And I find it very useful for me. Hopefully it's a little tip for you that you can use. But yeah, I like doing it like that because as you saw now, instead of chucking it out, I can just pop it back in, any of the spare pieces that we've got left over, and then they're all in their own little bags, and then I have them in a container to keep them all neat and organised, because I'm not a very organised person. And that is all our scraps. Now, the cool thing about this, you are just going to literally, this is going to blow your mind how easy this is. So one thing I wanted to do was have a little bit of an edge. So actually what we're going to do, there is 2 layers to this, which I'd forgotten about because I did this tutorial, but that's okay. I know exactly what the measurements are. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I know. But yes, I do like that white edge around the outside. I think it really gives it that beautiful outline. But on this, we're going to go straight to the edge. So we just grab any piece. Usually what I do is just like to put a little bit of strip of the Tombow glue. And I like to use the Tombow glue. You can use tape. There's no problem with that. But one thing I like with the Tombow is that you've got a little bit of wiggle room. So you've got a bit of time before it sticks to just check that you're all good. And having it longer is really convenient, and this is why I'll show you exactly why it's good to have it longer, because now even though we've got different shapes, we haven't cut to make sure that they're perfectly matched, but by having it longer we're going to basically just line it up, but it's not going to be perfectly straight. It's not going to be perfect in length, but it matches up because we have the ability to angle those strips, and that's what the flexibility with this technique that Bruno showed me that I absolutely love. Now you can do, I've got same sort of similar width on both sides, but you can then grab the next one and have one that's a bit more angled and do it the opposite way. So use the really angled piece, and it just creates more interest having them all angled, different sizing. Isn't that beautiful? And just be careful with your, actually what I will recommend you do on this, which I always forget to do, but it's a very handy tip. If you have your little silicone mat, which is dirty on both sides, it's a very well used mat, but it's very good for scrappy strips, because then the glue, your project's not going to stick to your grid paper or to another piece of paper or your desk or anything like that, because the silicone is silicone, then it doesn't stick. I was about to say, because the silicone is rubber, and then I'm like, oh no, it's actually silicone. So I love these smaller strips. I think it looks amazing in the finer layers. But these strips can be any size that you want. There is no particular size that they need to be. And as you can see, it's just going to have this. And once you cut it, you'll really get to see the effect of this technique. It's just beautiful. Now I've seen it done with Designer Series paper, and that's beautiful. I've seen it with Designer Series paper and cardstock combined, and I've also seen it with stamped images and then laid out, and all of them look brilliant. I don't think I've seen a scrappy strip technique card where I haven't really enjoyed it. I thought that has come up brilliantly. And they all look a lot more complicated than what they actually are. They're the sort of cards that I really enjoy, is cards that look complex and people go, oh, no, I won't be able to do that. That's a bit too hard. And then it turns out that they're not that hard at all. It's a little bit more time consuming probably than just cutting a piece of paper and laying it down. But I think that it's worth the time, and it's actually quite a fun therapeutic thing to do. It's like doing the easiest puzzle in the world. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. And you can see I'm really trying to use these different angles to make that really stand out and be different widths and sizes. But you can even come in and do the same size next to each other. There is no rule with this. I think we've done pretty well with the guessing of how many strips. Do that one that way. Beautiful. You're going to love seeing how to use that really cool alphabet die with the foam adhesive sheets. They're so amazing, those sheets. Now, I don't actually want this last piece here. You're actually better being over the edge than you are being under, because remember, we're going to layer this whole piece with another Whisper White layer. So I'll show you exactly what I mean, because what it will do is just play with it will end up looking crooked if you have a piece left over here. But underneath you can see that we can just come in and trim all of those. Now you can just use your scissors, but again, I really enjoy coming in with my little mini cutter if you have that. If you don't, talk to your demonstrator, because I'm pretty sure that you can get these as demonstrator. You might have to sign up to get it, but I think it would be worth it, because I love my little cutter, although it's a little bit gluey at the moment, so it didn't cut all the way through. Oh, that's a good piece. I'll have to cut it with my scissors, I think. It's a bit gluey still. They've all got sticky bits to it. So I've got my little snips here. And you can just come in with those. There you go. Try and get as close as you can to that white edge without cutting into it. Wow, they're really sticky, those pieces. Yeah, I'll do it that way. It's good having it facing this way so you can see exactly where you're cutting. Oh my goodness, look at that. Isn't that cool? See what I mean? So you can see all of these different angles and it looks so amazing, and yet it's all together in this one beautiful piece. And when you layer it on here, so it's totally up to you if you want to use that second layer of Whisper White or not, because it's pretty spectacular even without. Like if you raise that, then you've got a really beautiful looking piece, or you can do it with the white layer around. I think today on my tutorial I've got the layer, but I think today I'll do it without, just because I can. Just because I love to mix things up. So I'm going to dimensionalize that. Now before I do, I've got my writing here. So let me walk you through this, which is really cool. Now with the adhesive sheets here, they actually call them foam adhesive, because I always call them sheets, but are they sheets? Yes, they are. Foam adhesive sheets. So they come in this pack, and they come in a pack of 6, which is quite good value for how much you get in these packs, because sometimes you think, oh, am I really going to, like, is that a bit expensive? So this is 4 here, and we use them quite often, but we actually don't go through it a lot, which is amazing. And the way that you can utilize these sheets to make the most of this lettering, and this is another technique that I really wanted to highlight for you today, but you can pull out your alphabet, which is really cool that it comes on this sheet, and it's got all of the indentations of the letters there for you, so you know exactly where to put it back, and you know that nothing's missing. I'm really happy that Stampin' Up! Has done that. But when you get your letters, you pull them off, and what I really like doing with these, because I've done them a few times, and I'm really happy that they also have like a number of, like you can see here, I think there's 2, and I think there's 2 O's. So yeah, they have like replicas of a few, I think E's. Is it all the vowels that have got double? Maybe there's not another E. Oh yeah, there we go, another E. So it's really quite handy when we're doing this technique that I'm telling you about now. But I line it up. So the first thing you need to do, actually, let's just backtrack for a moment. But the first thing you're going to need to do with these foam adhesives, because they are basically double-sided sticky. When you pull this off and you pull this off, both sides are going to be sticky. So you're going to have to put cardstock onto one side. So pull off the section that you want, or cut off the section that you want, and then put a piece of cardstock, any colour cardstock you can pick. I picked Whisper White because I really wanted that thank you to pop off the page, but you could use a basic black and it would look amazing too. And you'd adhere that to one side. The other side you're not going to adhere it to, because that's what you're going to use to stick it onto your project. Okay, so one side cardstock, one side is just going to be what you use to sticky. Once you put your cardstock down, you've picked your colour, then you line up your letters, and I like to line them up so that it actually puts the word. Now there's 2 reasons why I like doing this. Firstly, it helps me to work out the spacing that I need for my card. because I'm a bit measurement challenged or straight challenged or getting it centered challenged. So that really helps me as a guide. And the second thing, or the second reason why I like it, is because this happens, which means not only are you getting the alphabet, but you're getting the negative space, which is what we are going to be using today. Because look how cool that looks. Now I've even kept the little pieces from the O, and there's a tiny, tiny little one here for the A. I don't know if I can be bothered. We'll have a look and see if I can be bothered using it. But it is just so much fun to be able to use both sides. And of course it's going to give another different look. But I really like that idea of being able to utilise not just one side, but also negative and positive sides of the foam adhesive. It also means too that it's less wastage and you're making the most of those foam adhesives. If for any reason though you decide not to use the negative space, remember that you can just glue on here and bang, voila, you have some foam adhesive strips that you can use. So don't ever throw it. It's always got some use that you can utilise. So that is my hot tip for using the foam adhesive sheets. Now another thing with these sheets that a lot of people, and running it through the Big Shot, so you lay it all out and it does, through the scan and cut, the stamp and cut and emboss machine. It'll take me a while to get that in my head. The stamp and cut and emboss machine. You can run it through, and this, honestly, it shocked us. It really genuinely shocked us, but we laid all it out, put our cardstock on, laid out all the letters, ran it through our machine, our stamp and cut and emboss machine, and it cuts beautifully. We thought it would squash the foam. We also thought it wouldn't work because this is quite detailed. But you can use this with really detailed dies, this foam, and run it through your stamp and cut and emboss machine, and it comes up brilliant. Like, brilliant. We just cannot believe it. We were doubting. We were genuinely doubting, but it is fantastic. So you can use that with a variety of dyes, and you're going to love the results. Absolutely love the results. So go and check out those foam adhesive sheets. Now let's lay out this thank you because it's super cute. Put that on and then we can put the next layer on. So nice and easy. And what I'll do, I'll just take it off the card because sometimes it can play with what I'm looking at. And if I put it onto the grid paper, then I can use my grid paper to help me line up because I need all the help I can get. I'm telling you, I'm challenged. Yes, that looks good to me. Oh, so cute. I really like it. It feels very retro and fun. I think this would be a great teenager card, to be honest. It's very hard to get teenage cards. And if you just change up the colours, it would be actually a really good teenage boy card. Like if you use some grungy colours in the background, because teenage cards are really difficult to get right. But I think this would be, like I think of our niece, both of our nieces, and I think they would absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it on. Oh, I love it. How cool does that look? I'm very, very happy with that. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but the best way to find out is to do it. And I haven't kept this straight. Like you can see here, I've hacked at it, and I actually really like that. With this style of card, and with the scrappy strips and even the background that I've chosen, it's all very geometric but not straight. So if you're an OCD person and want everything straight, I'm very sorry, but you can cut it straight if you want to. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your eyes. So we'll just layer it with our other foam dimensionals. You don't have to, you could just cut these Some people I know cut these into strips and they use their sheets for their adhesive, which I think is a great idea as well. You could make these dimensionals obsolete if you wanted to. But yeah, we always have everything on hand, so we'll use these and lay that out. Pull all those off. And we'll also do a little bit of decorating on the inside. Nothing major, but just I like to do a bit of something on the inside just to match it all up. You can also do it on your envelope as well. I've seen demonstrators decorate their envelopes. There we go. Oh, what am I doing? We're not going inside yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. And oh no, I really like that. So as I said, you could do the white outside as I've got in the tutorial, or you could do it without. I really actually like it like this. I think either, up to you. I will let you decide what you prefer and you can go for it. And so here's our inside pieces. We've got a few strips here that we can use that we cut. And all I'm going to do, I'll just make sure that they're long enough. Ooh, this one might only just fit. Ooh, just. What about this one? Oh yeah, that's got a bit of room. So we'll stick down this magenta one first so that we know exactly where it's going. I'm just going to put a couple here, nothing major. Just make sure that if there's anything extra, which is a tiny little bit, we'll just cut that off. Go. And this was the longer piece that I cut. Now you know why I cut it for the inside. It wasn't big enough to fit the width of this cardstock. Oh, that looks fantastic. So it's just a little accent on the inside. We still want to have plenty of room to write here, which we do, but it's just bringing the outside of the card onto the inside. I really like doing this with my cards, and you'll probably see on our channel that most times I'll decorate the inside as well. Oh, hello. I'll actually show you a card I did the other day. You can see it on my YouTube if you want to check it out. But this is something else I've been doing lately with the inside of my card. So I've got the Designer Series paper here, and then on the inside, ready for it, I actually add the Designer Series paper on the inside, the same one, so that it's got this beautiful image on the inside, and then that's just a bit of stamping that I've done on the inside, and then this one, and you can see how beautiful is that. Like when you open that up, it's just, I don't know, there's something really spectacular and dramatic about that. So that's another option. You could try and find something that matches this. I know that there's the Stampin' Up! In Colour Designer Series paper, and there's one of them that's dots, so that would go really, really well with that. In fact, let me pull it out of the cupboard, because you know, let's do it, because I can, because I know where everything is in this room. Although, do I have it already pre-cut? I'll go have a look, because you know, it'll be worth it if it is. Let's check it out. I've got Subtles, Regals, Brights. Oh, I think I've got them. Yes. It's because Bruno's organised me. Bruno organised me, so I've got it. So I have them already pre-cut. Check out my Love It, Chop It if you want to see why I do that. But it just makes it really handy at times like this, because now we can just look and see what colour we like. I think I'm going to go the Magenta Madness. because it just looks really cool. Oh yeah, there it is. Boom! That's exactly the one I wanted. And so because you can see, like, look how much paper we've got here, right? And I'm sure you guys are the same. Like, we have so much paper. We end up being left with paper all over the place. So why not use it for something like this on the inside of the card? It's much better than it's sitting there not getting used. Ooh, actually no, I think I'm going to do that one. Look how beautiful that is. Now, with my in colour paper, I actually cut it directly the same size as the full card, which I think I might cut down because I do like it to be a little bit smaller on the inside. Let's have a look and see if I can line it up. It might still be okay. I'll just cut it down a little bit because it's just a bit long for me. When it's on the inside, I've noticed that it doesn't always sit nicely on the inside if it's too long. So I'm just going to take off a couple of little millimeters, like, yeah, tiny little bit here, just so that it sits nicer on the inside. Yeah, that's better. Perfect. Don't you love it when I just, you know, change my video, change my ideas. Never a dull moment around here. There we go. Once I got the idea in my head, I couldn't let it go. Ah, that looks fantastic. And so you could just use that same Designer Series paper on your envelope as well. But it's just come up so nice. On this one, I just did the strips. But you can see the difference. Like it just gives it that stepped up wow factor, having that beautiful paper there. And why not use it? It's just like, and if you wanted to, sometimes it's nice to even have another section here. You might want to put a quote or add something there, just something a bit special that makes it unique, something like others haven't seen. I know we love to use scriptures in our cards, so we could put a Bible verse there or a quote of encouragement, something that, yeah, just adds to your card. Even the Stampin' Up! Stamps, like the sentiments, you know, sometimes these stamps here are actually great to use on the inside of your cards. So that could be something that you put here, but then you still write in your little section. So lots of little ideas there that hopefully you can utilize. Gives you some creative mojo, because we're so grateful that you purchase our tutorials from us, or some of you may be in our team or our customers that purchase from us or have been in our team, and we really appreciate all of you. We're so grateful and so thankful that you've chosen us to get your creative ideas from. So let me show you this up close, these two here. Aren't they just adorable? And even though they're very different to one another, so you can see that up close, that doesn't have the white back border, but that does, and it's a darker background. That one's the Stamping Off. I really like that. But, you know, that would look amazing even if it was dark and bold. So two really cool cards, different ideas. And I would love to see this card done with different colours. If you did different scrappy strip idea, it would just look completely different. So you could use the Designer Series paper, that beautiful in colour paper, instead of using the cardstock. So lots and lots of ideas hopefully I've given you on the suite, on techniques, on this beautiful amazing products that we have here. My absolute favorite is those dies. I just think that playful alphabet is an absolute must have. So if you don't have that, definitely go and grab those along with the adhesive sheets and have a lot of fun with those adhesive sheets. They're just fantastic. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. We read all of your comments. We love hearing from you. And even more importantly, if you do the project, make the project, please show me. Please send it to me. Send us an email or pop it in a message, because we'd love to know that we've helped you in some way creatively. And yeah, hopefully it gets you sending them off to people. I have in mind exactly who I want to send these cards to, and it's actually Corey and Brian, because I've just been to a leadership event with Stampin' Up and they did the most amazing job. So this is my thank you card to them for all they've done. We love Stampin' Up. They're Stampin' Up employees from the US. And yeah, this is my way of saying thank you to them for all their hard work. So think about who you're going to give your project to. And if you find it hard to let go and find it hard to send your cards, make one for you and one for someone else. So make two so that you can let it go, or take a picture and have an album, or put it on an Instagram account so that other people can be inspired by you and come and see all your beautiful work on your Instagram. Yeah, they're my little tips for today. Thanks so much and have an awesome, awesome month, and we shall see you next month for another fantastic bundle. We hope that you get our bundles either through subscription or you decide to purchase next month's. Thank you so much.